Another person that's donating some time and also getting us informed, but is working within the party that we are, well, most of us are all members of, but doing things within that party to be able to help not only inform and motivate, but to change it from within. Because if we don't get involved and we don't work from within, then we can't complain about what's happening within. And somebody's doing exactly that is Derrick Babcock. He is in charge of the LAGOP. Come on up there, join us up. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you.
All right. I appreciate the invitation to be here. So I'm Derrick Babcock. I'm chairman of the LAGOP, and it is an honor of mine to get to serve. There's never been a better day in Louisiana to be a Republican. The only thing better is to get to be chairman of the party. So today, obviously, elected Republicans control every seat in the statewide office. We control supermajorities in the House and the Senate. We control, obviously, both of our U.S. senators are Republicans. And then today, we have the historical privilege and honor of holding the two most powerful positions in Congress, which are the Speaker of the House and the Majority Leader. So it's been an honor of mine to get to serve. People say, what's your first priority? I said, my first priority is just don't mess it up. So doing a good job. And, I couldn't be more proud. Louisiana, I go around and for years I've heard people say, oh, Louisiana's a poor state. Y'all probably heard that. And yesterday I was talking to Representative Mark Wright. And he said, I read a publication about poor states and rich states. And people say for years, Louisiana's a poor state. And I've grown up in Louisiana for 51 years, and grew up on Lake Pontchartrain, actually in Slidell. And I love fishing and hunting, and there's so much to be done here, all the rich history and culture, and of course we're rich with natural resources and oil and gas and natural gas, and I just think, Louisiana is not a poor state. We're a very wealthy state. We've just been very poorly managed. And so I think today, we have an opportunity with our governor, with our legislature. I think we have the right people in the right place at the right time, willing to make the right decisions, often the tough decisions, to right the ship in Louisiana so we don't waste this opportunity. And we are able to change course and show people that Louisiana really is a very rich state and have opportunities for our children to stay here, to live, to build their lives, and to bring our people back who have left. So again, it's an honor for me to get to be a part of that as head of the party, and to get to work with everyone like you here. So we have an election coming up in November. This is a very important election, and in my opinion, it's the most critical election in the history of our country. And I know people often say, different elections in the past, oh, this is the most important election we've ever been a part of, whatever. And they've been important elections. Every election is important, right? But we cannot afford 4 more years of the Biden-Harris failed policies. Our country is weaker than it's ever been. Our enemies don't fear us. Y'all remember the balloon? The Chinese balloon that floated across? China, one of our greatest adversaries, floats a balloon across our country. They get to take pictures of whatever else they want to take pictures of. But they make a mockery of us while the world sits and watches. We can't figure out what to do with a balloon. America, the country with the most advanced technical weaponry in the world, the most skilled fighter pilots, we could have handled that thing before it ever got to our shores. And they let this thing float across the country. And then when it gets out over the Atlantic Ocean, they shoot it down. Our enemies don't fear us. Y'all remember last October when Biden gave Iran a warning? Y'all remember what his warning was to Iran? Don't. Right. Don't. You know how seriously they took that warning? These Iranian proxies like Hamas, Hezbollah, whatever. Since then, they've attacked U.S. soldiers, killed U.S. soldiers. They've attacked U.S. Navy ships. They've shot down U.S. military drones. And now Iran has unleashed relentless attacks on our greatest ally in the Middle East. That's Israel. They don't fear us. Our borders are wide open. And a lot of this rising crime rate that's going on with murders and rapes and armed robberies. A lot of those are these illegal immigrants that are coming here. And Kamala Harris was the border czar. But they're doing nothing to fix the problem. We can't afford 4 more years. And look, 3.5 years ago, we were energy independent, and we had reserves piled up, historical reserves piled up. In Hackberry, Louisiana, we had reserves piled up. Today, the Biden-Harris administration has depleted those reserves. And now we're dependent on other countries for our energy that we need. And that hurts our economy. And so, of course, we've got the highest inflation rates we've had in decades. Cost of groceries are up. Cost of goods and services in general. Fast food. I was telling somebody the other day, there's Cane's chicken. Has anybody had Cane's chicken? Y'all heard of Cane's chicken? Yeah. I have a Cane's chicken in the parking lot of my office. And I go there too much. But anyway, 3.5 years ago, of course, when I would go there, and I'd get my 3-finger combo with a half and half tea, and it was $7.51. And today, I pay $10.18 for the same 3-finger combo. And look, it affects all of us. It's not, black, white, Republican, Democrat, Christian. We're all feeling the pain of the Biden-Harris policies. And nobody's excited to vote for Kamala Harris. Even the people that maybe they're not going to vote for Trump, they're not excited to go vote for Kamala Harris. But the Trump voters are excited. And I've been to, numerous Trump vote parades the last several months. I've gone to several, and look, you'll have boats piled up 1 mile, 2 miles long. I have yet to find a Kamala Harris vote parade. So people are excited about voting for Donald Trump. And then, and what about J.D. Vance? I'm sure everybody watched that debate, right? So his answers were so substantive, and his demeanor was so kind. Even if you didn't like J.D. Vance, you had to like J.D. Vance after that debate. And he just made Tim Walz look like a bumbling idiot. And I'm sorry to say that about him, but that's what happened. Did everybody see Trump was in Butler yesterday? Of course, you remember Butler, Pennsylvania, where he was shot. Came within a 1/4 inch of his life. And when we were at the national convention, I know Ricky T, y'all were there with us. And he talked about that day, and he talked about kind of the events right before that happened, and he was going to reference an immigration chart right behind him. And as he turned his head, there was a truck going by on the road, and it was loud. It caught his attention, and he paused just briefly as he was turning his head to see that truck, and that's when the bullet went by and missed him by 1/4 of an inch. And had he not turned his head, of course, it would have hit him in the back of the head. Had he not paused for just that fraction of a second because that truck got his attention, it hit him in the front of him. And so thank God, God spared his life for us. But I'm going to tell you, the fact that Donald Trump went back to Butler, Pennsylvania yesterday and gave a huge rally there is evident of the American spirit that he has. When our enemies come against us and our adversaries or troubles come against us, we don't back down. We get knocked down, we get back up. And so, it's when we get hit with like natural disasters or storms, floods, things like that, our people come together and we rise up and we come back stronger. Look, I said this election is one of the most important elections in our history, and I really do believe that. Kamala Harris and the Democrats want to fundamentally change this country, and if we give them the opportunity to do that, they're going to add 2 states to this country. They're going to add 4 liberal U.S. senators. They're going to stack the Supreme Court, and they're going to continue to take away our constitutional rights. Donald Trump's often been heard saying, they're coming after you. They're not coming after me. They're coming after you. I'm just standing in the way. And so this man has continued to fight for us. He doesn't have to do this. He's a billionaire. He can live anywhere in the world he wants to live. But he chose to stay here and to fight for us. They've tried to impeach him. They've tried to incarcerate him. they've tried to assassinate him. And yet he continues to stand and to fight for us. And so, we're coming into now the last 30 days, the last month before November 5th. And again, one of the most important elections of our lifetime. And I'm going to ask everyone in here if you would just do everything you can do. And look, I think Donald Trump's going to win Louisiana. I don't think there's any issue in Louisiana. We need to all do our part to vote for Donald Trump. But I'm going to ask that you would do what you can to help in these other battleground states. And there's organizations like the Mighty American Strike Force. There's, of course, Trump Force 47. If you go on Trump's website, there are things you can do. If you can't travel to a battleground state to help walk door to door, you can send postcards. You can get on Trump Force 47, and you can start to do these phone banks that they have, and it's easy. The thing does it for you. It makes the calls, and it gets people on the line, and they give you, it's a bit of a script, but you don't have to read it. It's just some talking points, and you can make it your own. But, people have asked me, man, why are you doing this? It's a sacrifice of your time. It's a sacrifice of your energy. My grandfather, my great-grandfather, they sacrificed. They fought in wars. They dodged bullets. They slept in ditches in Vietnam to defend this country. Nobody's asking me to do that. They're just asking me to call somebody, ask them to go vote. I can do that. That's not much of a sacrifice, in my opinion. But I'm just going to ask you this. For the next 30 days, if you'll just think back to July 13th, when maybe you were watching when Trump was giving his rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, or maybe you're like me, we were actually at the National Convention preparing for the week to come for the convention, and the news came across. And so, of course, we turn on the news, and we don't know. We're confused. There's an empty podium. Trump's on the ground, and you don't know. Did he get shot? Did he not get shot? What's happened? And you're sitting there waiting with anticipation. And then, of course, Trump gets up, and you see him stand up, and there's blood coming down his face, and the reality hits you that they almost took his life. And I just want you to remember for the next 30 days what Trump asked every one of us to do. And y'all know what that is, right? That's to fight. That's right. Fight. So for the next 30 days, again, this is the most important election in our lifetime, and I'm asking you to fight. Thank y'all.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Now, are we happy that he is heading up the LA GOP, guys? Big round of applause, right? Thank you all so much.